Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Career Mode Episode 82. Tour de France, Stage 7. Green jersey is the quest. Wout van Aert is the main contender. He's also already on Stage 7. He's the race leader and is still leading the race, and he's won 3 out of 6 stages, I believe. He's been really, really tough so far. Let's see him here in yellow just next to us. Currently a UAE rider, well supported and absurdly fast and strong, and we just cannot seem to beat him head to head. But good news as we approach the only intermediate sprint, but also late in the stage here. The good news is that Peters, the main guy that we are riding for, knowing that he's a little stronger overall than Vandenberg, even though Vandenberg is actually in the green jersey right now slightly, and then Van Aert is second, and no, sorry, Van Aert is first. Vandenberg is second, and then Peters is third, 1 point behind him. For one, there's only a 1 point difference between the two, so there's nothing to separate them. But for two, Vandenberg has a nice race day condition today, +2 draw from his expected, but Peters is on his expected. He's a better sprinter anyway, with a +1 in both sprint and acceleration compared to his teammate, but now has started his fitness peak and will have a +5 for possibly all the way to the Champs-Elysees, to Paris. Maybe not quite to that final stage or two, but pretty dang close to it, which means he's going to be capable going forward a lot more than his teammate, trying to score some points. We have 5K to go to the sprint point. We're going to go just a little bit further here. I didn't want to push too hard today. This could cost me a couple points, but I didn't want to push too hard in this lead up because I knew that it could be, costly. Who do we want to lead these two guys out? McKellar has an 80 and has space. So we're going to put him on 96, and we will follow him. Okay. Help these guys get through. Oh, and then the whole group comes over to this side. McKellar's already done his thing. Vandenberg's got to start his sprint a little bit early to get out here. Yeah, that was not very good. But like I said, the later we go, the more that's going to be the case. Van Aert 156, Vandenberg 114, and 111. But we wanted to save this energy for the final run in. Let's get back onto protecting these two. And we have 30K to go till the finish. Breakaway down to just 40 seconds. They had a near 7-minute gap at the start of this stage, but with only 3 of them, it was pretty easy to reel them back in over the long kilometers of today's stage. Now 17K to go. We're going to want to form our sprint train rather soon because we're not even very close to the front here. So 15.7 might be a little early from what we really need to be doing, but let's take these weaker guys on the negatives today. Them out front. Piccioni will get on with moving. And away we go. Piccioni spaces on the left-hand side. They're going to make a left-hander here in a moment, though, and Piccioni can't even find space to get through. We'll stay to this left-hand side, try to drag the team forward. And this is why we had to go early. We're down to 13K. This will start to stretch the field, though, giving more room for the teammates to come up. Vandenberg's up there, but where's everybody else? Where's Peters? Okay, now 10K to go. And Piccioni finally gets us out front. 99's the rest of the way, 6K. It's time to gel up for the rest of the field. And the last of the weaker ratings is done, so we're going to start going a lot faster from here with Bach. 80 on that flat rating, 3.5K to go. He's going to start his sprint. McKellar's going to start his sprint. We're going early because we had the depth. Vandenberg now taking off. I like our chances for the stage today. We've got a really, really good lead out. Come on, Peters. Peters is going to fade just before the end. He's going to take second. He's going to take second. The throw on the line goes to Goodmustad. Peters ran out of red bar 40 meters before the finish line. If he hadn't, even if he had waited till 20 or 30 meters before the finish line, it would have been enough to hang on and win. But we do get second place with Peters. I thought we were going to get the win as we were at about 1.5K to go. It felt like we had it, but he did not quite sustain the effort. Vandenberg gets 7th, but look who is nowhere near the top. Wout van Aert gets 12th. 12th on the stage today. So we absolutely demolished the points leader. And that's the key, right? Goodmustad coming out of nowhere to steal the win. No big deal, because we're in for the green jersey, not for stages. And points are what matters. And when Wout van Aert is 12th, Delay was up there. Penhook were up there. Merlier is up there in the points. The guys who are up there on this stage aren't the contenders. Van Aert picks up just 5 points on today's stage. That is a massive gain, especially on a sprint stage where Van Aert has been so dominant. Still leads, but we have cut into that massively. Now just 25 points behind, and Peters, the important of our two riders, moves into second place, and Vandenberg has effectively been stealing points from other guys. And the only other close contender, Penhook, didn't have a very good day either. Just 113 points for him. He's still close. I mean, he's only 23 points behind Peters, but we do put a little distance into him. Jakobsen, Merlier, these guys did not finish near the top, so this was an excellent stage. Goodmustad didn't even have any points and comes away with the victory on this one. For him, timing was perfect. So stage 8, and looking at my two riders, it's a punchy stage. There's 7 categorized climbs. There's a few uncategorized climbs along the way. I think Peters could. It's not a given. It's going to be a tough day. But Peters could, with his +5, which he did get today. He's got a 76 mountain. He could compete within the stage where there's more points available at the finish line. The breakaway is going to take almost all of the sprint points, and Vandenberg with a -1 race day condition today and a 63 mountain, 0 chance of being there at the end. So the intermediate sprint is where he needs to get points to stay in that competition, that classification, and take away, from others. So we are going to go collect points with Vandenberg and then just sit on with that group. Try to get maximum points for him. So that's the plan for today. Vandenberg looking for 20 at the intermediate. Peters, we're going to be riding all in on the stage for him. We are 11K away from that intermediate sprint, so let's speed things up for a little bit. 10K away now. Kind of the last of the undulation. There's one small hill at the top of this little saddle that we're in the middle of right now. 6K. 4.5 minute gap. 4K. There's that little hill. We're going to drop down, and that's one thing to keep in mind here is we're going to drop down. So Vandenberg needs to be coming forward here. As we are still dropping down, we're going to come around this corner and have just under 2K to go. 1K to go. And go ahead and take that sprint. Vandenberg, we want to get maximum points here, and do. Mohoric, Skilmos, the other ones that went with him, and that's good. He got maximum points. I think there's 1 point left on the intermediate. I'm not going to fight for it. We're saving the energy. Vandenberg may be back in the back in the Peloton here fairly soon, but they have a 5-minute advantage, so he's just going to kind of sit on with the group and We'll see what happens, but I'm going to let him be. If he gets dropped, he gets dropped. I would imagine at the top of the climb, he probably will get dropped. And that's fine. We'll let him come back to the group where somebody can protect him. Okay, 1.5K to go to the top. 1K to go. And here comes the attack, the inevitable attack. For now, he's still in contact. For now. He's also gotten water. 142K to go. And these guys have gone over the top. Let's get Mr. -5 to go get some water.
It looks like the pack has bitten the dust collectively, but
Jakobsen, Philipsen in a fall. That possibly could rule those two out, but it looks like there's only one rider off the back. Thinking he's just fine. Vandenberg, 5-minute advantage. For now, I don't mind him trying to stay with the group. Looking at everybody else, no blink in red. Everybody looks okay. Ponemar with a blink in red. Peters with a blink in red, just a little bit, but their position is good. Bach is dropping back a little bit. Not a great climber. Pace is pretty hot, if this is the case. Three categorized climbs after this. And the field is very much here. Vandenberg, let's go ahead and get water again. And then let's send Ponemar to get water now. 96K to go. One more time we'll have to do it. Not recovering very fast considering the heart rate. Yeah, we don't want to ride too hard. Ponemar's going to be staying with him even if he ends up getting dropped. But he makes it through that climb. 129 left in the group. And 62K. We're about to go into the next climb. On the next descent, I assume these two won't be there anymore. And then we'll have to send somebody back to get water for the final time. Vandenberg, decent amount of recovery there. Mark 10 attacking from the break. Over the top, KOM. And these two get dropped. Bach and Bausch definitely go backwards a little bit, but we're near the top on this one. Peters, looking good. 11 minutes. The breakaway is going to end up winning the stage. Vandenberg would not have hung on, though. I mean, he's way too weak. Well, how weak Piccioni is looking right now, but of course he is protecting Peters. That is his job. Bach still has not gotten up here with water. Looks like he will succeed at doing so here shortly, though. And he's back to the front. 116 riders left in the peloton. We're going to go attacking on that category 3. Peters looks strong, so we're going to use these guys. Lead that out. There is more after that climb, though, so we don't want Peters on his own by that point. We just want to really split the field up. That climb is 14K from the finish. And we will already be in a train before we hit the lower part of the ascent, so here shortly we're going to be setting that up. Now that's 4 riders that we're seeing, and was it not 14 in that group originally, so plus Vandenberg, that's 5 that have come back at the very least, so there's possibly still 9 further up the road in the front 2 groups. So Piccioni's nearly done, so he's obviously going to lead this thing out. McKellar looks pretty dang strong. Yes. And then Bach, Bausch, Piccioni. Piccioni does not need to go 99, just needed to get him out front quickly. We will send him at about a 95 for now and get Bausch ready. I'm hoping that Piccioni can still manage the lower, the bigger, what do you call it? de-escalation. The oh, I lost my words. Piccioni's out of energy. On to Bausch.
We've got 15 kilometers to the finish line.
The word that I was looking for, still escaping my mind at the moment. Descent. The more rapid descent. But Bausch isn't even feeling the effort, so it's fine. Alright, here we go. 4K on the climb, and we very much want to put things in duress for a lot of riders here. Some guys that can't handle the climbing. Bausch is not much of a puncher, so he's not doing serious damage, and he's already put us more than halfway through the climb by himself. Bach, meanwhile, though, can go harder. Does go harder. Piccioni still hasn't even been dropped. That's how not hard we've made this. Bach doing a 99, 400 meters. So McKellar, let's go. Bach, try to hang on. Bausch, try to hang on. If you can. Pulling back 3 riders, including Mohoric. And we've split the field with 13K to go.
The group is slowly thinning out due to such a frantic
Checking
pace.
back in. Piccioni back here with 66. There's 44 chasing. Okay, that's all back together.
The riders just passed the 5 kilometers road sign.
Almost caught 7 more breakaway riders. No, that's that is Bach kind of chasing. We don't want to be the ones chasing ourselves. Excuse me. Very phlegmy today. McKellar, Gel, 9K to go. 5 riders. Still attacking. And with a fair bit of it descending, so we've still got a shot here. We've got a near minute advantage. And, you know, the good news is as we catch breakaway riders, there are points available at the finish line. Lavelle takes the stage. There's 3 riders, 4 riders having crossed the line. 5K to go, but this is the last climb. McCuller's going to continue going, 99 here. Peters will be kind of handling the last bit himself. There's a quick descent here, and then Peters is going to go solo. Peters, Keller, place these guys on auto. Here goes Peters. He's already used his red bar, but it wasn't about the red bar. It was about getting away from those guys. He's going to take 10th on the stage, which is worth a decent amount of points. Would have been a stage win. Would have been a stage win if not. McKellar takes 13th. Penholt was 12th, by the way. Van Aert gets 18th. I don't think that's going to be worth points at the end of the day, so we gain a little bit more. And, if you remember, Vandenberg managed to pick up 20 points himself. And with a time cutoff of an hour, Vandenberg at 21 minutes down is just fine. It'll be more than that, but maybe half an hour, but that's easily within the time cutoff. Following the effort, didn't mean for it to happen, but Peters is up to 8th place accidentally. But in the points, the gap continues to shrink. Skelmos takes the most on the stage, but Vandenberg gets his 20 points. Peters gets 7 points. McKellar gets 4 points. You've got, Delay, Penholt with just a small amount. Nothing for Van Aert. Van Aert got zero points to do. That is 2 excellent stages in terms of gaining, and it's quite clear that the intermediate was a really good option. Van Aert sitting on 161. Vandenberg is 14 points behind, back into 2nd place. More importantly, though, 4 points further back. 18 down is Peters. Much closer than where we started this episode. Stage 9, and we are already almost halfway into this one, coming up on the intermediate sprint, so we're setting ourselves up to try to get maximum points for the intermediate sprint. This, not a very difficult stage. Vandenberg only a +1 today. Peters had a -1 draw, which gives him a +4 today, as we have 5K to go to that sprint point. And yeah, Bach and his nice downhill rating has gotten us out front. 3.5K to go. They'll continue to lead on with a pretty good flat rating as well. 2.5, 2.2, 1.8. So Bach sprinting, Vandenberg sprinting, and Peters sprinting. Can we hang on decently well? Vandenberg gets first, Peters third through that one, so that was good. And now we're just 10 points behind with Vandenberg, and that is, what, another 7 back? So 17 back for Peters. Closing that gap. Van Aert's lead was looking so insurmountable. But lately, and I mentioned this before, I had a feeling that that yellow jersey was going to consume him. He's trying to be, Lord of the Rings. He's trying to rule them all. $10K to this final climb of the day. 22K to the finish line now. And it's steep. It's definitely punchy. But Vandenberg and Peters both looking good. We're going to put Vandenberg behind Peters and hope he can, hang on. As we're seeing Vanderpool and Schelling on the attack. Are they going for K? No, they're not going for it. They're going for the stage. But with 18K to go, we're going to put most of this into the climb because you're descending a fair bit the rest of the way to the finish. Alright, so Bach is going to get out there. He's having a rough day because he's a really poor climber. Ponemar, I'm guessing, is still behind a bit. And is. Maybe switching position here and going to Piccioni earlier. Piccioni's going to take over. He's a good climber though, so him at 99 yellow bar is going to. What's happening here? Bach has been dropped, or is getting dropped anyway. 127 as Johannesson on the attack. 1K to go to the top. Alright, here we go. McKellar leading out Peters. I want Vandenberg to follow Piccioni. Rivera's getting dropped. He was, what, KOM. Big spread to the field. Bausch definitely does not need to be following Ponemar. Let's see, where is McKellar at? Oh, he's at the front. It's weird that it's placed us down here, but okay. So McKellar leading out Peters. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to use that last little uphill section to try to attack. Okay, so McKellar attacks. He's already set to follow, and he's still following. There is Piccioni. Not leading Vandenberg terribly well. But Vandenberg's just not really in the mix. And we have split the field. Johannesson, Jakobsen.
And he spurts away from the group. He's going for victory.
It's back together. Is it though? It is. 4 riders still left off the front. With 4K to go. So Gel. Piccioni is done. Vandenberg. Bausch. There's just not enough left in the tank for these guys. Put them all on auto and use their gels. McKellar still leading things out. Field had split, but Peters strong enough to, he's going to just have to sprint this thing. 2K. Those front guys are going to hang on and take the stage. Peters slightly downhill, so we're going to go a little bit early. Is he going to have enough red bar to get there? We're fighting for 5th place today, and he might just hang on to it, and he does. Gosh, that's another 2 stages in a row that would have been wins for Peters if only the breakaway didn't hang on and win the stage. But that's good. That's what a fitness peak does for you, and it turns it into points. Turns it into a lot of points. Van Aert was 10th today, so he's going to get limited points. Peters in 5th is going to get a good amount of points. Not as good as if he had won the stage, though, but, you know, it's okay. It is okay. Vandenberg was 23rd, so he's not going to pick up any points other than what he got in the intermediate, but he won the intermediate sprint, so either way, it looks like they're both going to be gaining today a little bit on Van Aert, which is the goal, and we're going to be awfully close. And after these 3 stages, which two were punchy and one was a pure sprint, you would think that Van Aert would be comfortably ahead compared to us, but he seems to be more focused on that yellow jersey these days. Still trailing, but my oh my have we gotten closer. 7 points adrift of Van Aert for Peters. So Peters back into second place, and Vandenberg 10 points further back. Penho still in close enough to be, a threat. What is he? 36 downs? 34 down? He's getting closer. Jakobsen is just about in range. Barncini, Merlier, I'd say over 100 points behind right now is too far back. We've done 9 stages. We're not quite halfway, but we are definitely getting there. And we're going to have some big mountain stages in the remaining portions of this race. In fact, let's take a look at what that profile is going to look like. So we just had our rest day, and stage 10 you can see is another day for the sprint, so there's going to be a lot of points there. And same with 11. I think we're going to have a better idea of where we're at, and hopefully we can stay close to Van Aert and he doesn't pull out a massive gap if he doesn't win either of those stages. I like our chances of remaining close. Stage 12, that's a day to be in the break. That's also a day that you would hope, well, Vandenberg can easily get in the break and get the 20 points, but what about Peters? He sits 8th place. We've got 2 sprint stages. I don't think Van Aert's going to let him get in the break that day, but we'll check it out. We'll try. That's also the day that Van Aert probably loses the jersey and then can start turning his attention to the green jersey. So I'm guessing Vandenberg picks up 20 points. I'm guessing that Peters is unable to join the break. 13's time trial. 14, I think Peters can just about hang on and get over the top of that to get the intermediate points. I'm not sure about Vandenberg, and we'll be well outside of the top 10 after that mountain stage prior. So 14 is a good day for Peters to gain 20 points. So at that point, I think they've both picked up 20 points over Van Aert, where we're probably going to lose 20 points over those 2 sprint stages, potentially, or hanging just about in there. 15, I think they both can pick up 20 points that day. 16, another sprint stage. Another chance for Van Aert to close that gap a little bit further, but I'm hoping we would be in the lead by the start of stage 16. 17 is absolutely one that they both can hang in there for. 18, they can both go pick up the intermediate sprint points. And on 19. 20 is going to be iffy whether you can get any sprint points that day, and probably better to just simulate that stage and move on. And then stage 21. I'm thinking we've got a close contest with Van Aert all the way to Paris, because there's a couple opportunities, right? We can pick up maybe 40 points out there on intermediate sprints that Van Aert's not going to contest. And then we've got, 4? Was it 4 sprint stages the rest of the way? 4 sprint stages the rest of the way that Van Aert's going to probably gain, 10 to 20 points each. So we're looking at, losing 50 to 60 points over those 4 stages, I would think. And I was looking at a good 40 points that we can gain along the way. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.